Chosen one, stop scrolling right now. This moment did not appear in your life by accident. This message is not meant for everyone who hears it. It is meant for you. Before your mind tries to explain this away, pause and listen with something deeper than logic. What you are about to hear is God's message which has come at just the right time. It feels different because it is different. That feeling of being alert in the back of your mind, like something just clicked, like these words are old to you. This isn't making things up. This is how you align. You are on the verge of a moment that was meant to happen. A supernatural change that could happen today, tonight, or in the next few hours. Now is the time that was agreed upon. In Habakkuk 203, the Bible reminds us, "For the vision is still for a certain time. Wait for it, even if it takes a while, because it will come." This video talks about why you were led here, what has been awakening inside you, and the meeting that will change your life right now. It's not fun to do this. This isn't what drives you. This is an interruption from God. Time has slowed down just enough for the truth to finally be heard. What happens here will help you see your path more clearly, show you what's next, and explain why it's happening now. And not later, so stay until the end. You are receiving this message from God at the exact moment when your spiritual awakening is beginning to become clear. It might have felt like restlessness, awareness, or not being able to handle things that used to feel normal to you. Even though you didn't know how to say it, you knew something was different. That change is real and you chose it. You are about to have an experience that will change your life. Not by chance or all of a sudden, but on purpose with perfect divine alignment. Someone sent by God is getting closer to you. And their arrival won't take your attention away from your goal. It will prove it. It won't make you whole. It will bring out what God already put inside you. Your divine calling has always needed the right time. This message did not come before because of this. God doesn't wake up a chosen person early for no reason. Don't hear this when you're having a hard time. This message was meant to be heard right now. When your spirit is ready to see the truth without fear and your discernment is sharper. If you feel steady instead of rushed or calm instead of tense, that means you are in alignment. Feeling seen instead of persuaded is a sign that a divine connection is starting to form. If this message doesn't seem new to you, it's because your soul already knew what your mind is only now starting to understand. Leave a comment 777 below if you agree with this message as a simple way to show that you understand divine timing when it speaks to you, not as a ritual or a. In this way, God talks to his chosen people in a clear, quiet way. Superstition. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. Faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you, is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose, join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life, chosen one. Your life did not happen the way it did by chance. The delays were not turns downs. Isolation was not the same as rejection. There was no failure in the confusion. It was getting ready. Life-changing experiences don't just happen to people who aren't ready for them. You had to get stable enough to tell the difference between alignment and intensity. This is the reason why your spiritual awakening wasn't very loud. It slowly got there. Things that used to have power over you started to become clear to you. You started to think about old paths that didn't work anymore. You started to feel your light, but you weren't sure how to fully express it yet. That light is important, and because it's important, it's been questioned. There really is a war, but it's not a physical one. A fight for clarity, identity, and a sense of purpose. People who have been chosen feel this war more deeply because their light has weight. Understand this very well. If you've ever felt resistance without a clear reason, heaviness without a reason, or pressure without a visible source, you're not hurt. You are important. God doesn't warn about small things. God plans what is important. I want to tell you the truth. I have been through times when I felt completely alone and every door I tried to open shut before I even got there. There were times when I wondered if I had heard God's voice wrong or if the calling I felt so strongly in my spirit was really there. At times I wondered if I was being punished for something I couldn't think of. That being said, I now fully understand and see that those times were not times of abandonment. They had an appointment. I wasn't being kept from God. He was getting me ready. And if you are feeling the weight of being alone or the sting of being late right now, I need you to hear this. You are not being forgotten. You are being put in place. This message keeps coming back to one simple truth that you should never forget. You're not making this up. Someone called you. You didn't just become aware of something. It wasn't a coincidence that you got stronger. Your endurance wasn't a fluke. You're still standing there because people need your light. And what's coming into your life will need you to be awake, rooted, and not scared. The person God sent to change your life is not going to be in your way. They are coming to meet you in alignment. And you will know who they are not by how excited you are, but by how clear you are because of peace, not because of time. This is what God wants to say. You were ready to receive it, so it got to you. Comment 111. If this moved you or made you feel like something said, "This is for me," you know it now without any doubt or fear. Someone called you. Why you had to walk first by yourself? Because this message needs to be said again with clarity and authority. Chosen one, go back to where it all began. This is God's message. You're not making up what you went through. You didn't lie about how heavy it was. You didn't get the silence wrong because you were called. Your path was never meant to be the same as other people's. You thought the war you felt was real. Resistance was planned, and the light you carry is important, which is why it had to be improved before it could be shared. It was never meant for walking alone to define you, but it did shape you. It's never too early for divine connection to come. It won't be able to meet a chosen one as long as their identity is up for debate. Their boundaries are open and their worth is based on what other people think of them. A person sent by God to change lives doesn't show up to make things safe. They come to make alignment bigger. You wouldn't have been able to handle that expansion because it was too big. God slowed things down. It was not romantic or admirable to be lonely. It was uncomfortable, quiet, and sometimes hard to understand. There were times when you started to doubt yourself and wonder if something was wrong with you. That was not a sign of weakness to question. It meant taking away the illusions, being alone with yourself, learning to trust your gut and learning to hear your own voice without other people. Echoing it were all things you were learning. No, that is not a punishment. That's getting ready. In every case, God separates before He connects. It wasn't because you failed when people moved on, conversations stopped going smoothly, or relationships ended without a big bang. It was because your spiritual awakening changed the frequency inside you. You started to feel out of place where you used to be okay with being off balance. You began to notice that some connections needed you to narrow, explain, or do something that was quietly turned down by your spirit long before your mind. What used to feel familiar started to wear you down. Understood it. For divine calling and chosen one paths to work, you need to be clear. And you can't be clear when your emotions are all the time. I remember a time in my own life when this separation hurt me a lot. People I had known for years felt like strangers to me. Conversations that used to get me excited now make me tired. I believed I had a problem. I thought my spirit was getting proud, cold, and far away. But the truth was very different. I wasn't pulling away from people. I was pulling toward a goal, and purpose calls for a different frequency. It's okay to feel this shift and realize that some relationships don't work the way they used to. Don't feel guilty about that. Do not try to stay in a place where your spirit has already left. God isn't telling you to leave other people. When He tunes you in, He wants you to honor that frequency. God gets rid of distractions before sending destiny because destiny needs strength, presence, and discernment. If the person who would change your life came too soon, you might have attached instead of aligned. You could have relied on someone instead of partnering up. You may have thought that intensity meant truth and urgency meant love. That would have made your goal take longer. People didn't break up with you because you were too much or too little. They faded because they weren't made to support the person you were becoming. These people were meant to help you learn, not leave behind things. Not all connections were meant to teach you how to set limits. Others were meant to show patterns that had to be broken. Some were just mirrors that showed you where you needed to heal. They were all used up. People who are impatient use milestones and deadlines to plan their lives. Divine timing is based on being ready and honest. It seemed like everything was taking a long time, but God was making sure that when the time came, you wouldn't ruin it out of fear or insecurity. You were never behind in life. You were always on time. We will never forget you. You were getting stronger. The war you lived through wasn't just outside. It was inside, sneaky and never-ending. Your intuition was tested by doubt. Fear made your faith test when you needed to grow. The old versions of yourself tried to pull you backward. That battle inside wasn't about failing. It showed that something valuable was being kept safe, like poles in opposition. The language you used is not symbolic. That's the law of spirit. As you may know, awakening too quickly can make a soul unstable. So, yours happened in stages. God slowly showed you the truth, so that you could understand it, live from it, and incorporate it. You learned to be strong on your own without getting tough. You learned how to be on your own without closed off. Snorts, you became less alone as you learned to trust yourself. This balance was very important. Two grounded people are needed for divine connection, not just one seeker and one anchor. Before you could walk with the person sent to change your life, you had to grow up emotionally. That kind of maturity doesn't come from reading books or saying positive things. It comes from having lived, being alone, and choosing to grow when no one is looking. You stopped looking to other people to confirm your choices. You stopped telling people what your limits were. You gave up trying to connect with people at the cost of peace. You weren't lonely during these shifts. You need to be sovereign for what comes next, which they gave you. God wanted you to know who you were before He introduced you to someone who could see you well. You might have given them power they were never meant to have if you didn't. You may have thought that recognition meant rescue. You may have given up your own calling to make room for theirs. That wouldn't be possible. Every quiet night, every message that wasn't answered, and every season when you felt like no one was seeing you shaped your wisdom, strength, and spiritual authority. You were taught to see alignment without needing to be pushed and connection without being afraid. That's why there was a delay. You were called, and when someone calls you, they are responsible. The light you carry isn't pretty, it does its job. It awakens, heals, disrupts, and changes things. And because it does, it had to be kept safe until you could hold it without it getting smaller or hiding. There is a war, but you are stronger than it. You lived not because things went well for you, but because God kept you alive. Now that you're getting this message again, let the truth sink in fully. You didn't walk by yourself because you were left alone. That's why you walked alone. You were getting ready to walk right. Say something, wonder if this touched your heart. You were called the chosen one because you now know it without doubt or fear. Go back to the beginning before you go any further. This truth needs to be reinforced every time your mind tries to doubt what your spirit already knows. This is God's message. You're not making what you're feeling up. You were called, and because of that you already know that you were recognized. You went through a real war and felt real pressure. The light you carry is important, which is why God is now teaching you how to tell what is aligned and what is not. A connection with God is not mysterious, chaotic, or hard to understand. That's the first thing you need to get right. Getting confused is not a sign of being aligned. Anxiety is not a sign of what will happen. Emotional turmoil does not prove that something has a spiritual meaning. Those thoughts come from not being mature enough, not waking up. Being in touch with God is resonance. The meeting of two people who are already rooted in who they are, whose values, timing, and awareness are all in line with each other naturally. This link does not make a lot of noise. It comes in peace. You don't have to pay attention to it. It makes you stand out. There is no chaos inside you when you meet the person sent to change your life. There is no doubt. There's no need to quick fix or label. There is being there inside you. Something calms down instead of rising. Your nervous system doesn't get scared. Your gut doesn't forget about you. You don't lose your sense of self before there is language. There is recognition in the soul. As the conversation goes on, you may notice that there is no performance. It doesn't feel weird or strange to be quiet. There's no need to impress or persuade. You're just here now. That being there is the signal. Your spirit is recognizing familiarity. Not because of a memory, but because of how things are lined up. A lot of people get this wrong because attraction and alignment feel different. Poles of attraction, alignment stays stable, the ego gets excited by attraction. Getting in line grounds the soul, urgency is often caused by attraction. Being in sync makes you patient, the person God sent will not cause obsession. They will make you aware to keep this connection. You won't feel like you have to give up on yourself. It will make you want to grow into the person you already are. This meeting doesn't make you feel better about avoiding it. You have to work hard to grow. It doesn't make you smaller. I learned this the hard way. I thought that some connections in my past that felt electric, exciting, and intense were signs of my fate. I thought it must be from God because something made me shake. I believed it had to mean something eternal since I felt so strongly about it. Even so, alignment and intensity are not the same thing. Getting along is not the same as calling. I now know that God's assignments don't make you unstable. They make you feel better in your spirit. They don't cause chaos. They make things clear. When the right person comes along, you won't feel like you're giving up something by keeping them. When they see you, you'll feel like you're finally becoming yourself. It tells you to get up. That's how you know this is a divine link. After the encounter, growth is unavoidable, not dramatic or forced, but clear as day. You notice that you can see better. You don't hesitate before making a choice. You do it with confidence. You feel safe and supported without being pushed around. No one can see you, but you feel seen. Peace is the way to tell. It's the clarity that confirms. The truth is the base. You won't be taken away from God's message by this link. It makes you feel more connected to it. What you've been feeling inside starts to show up outside. Thoughts move forward. Purpose seems more nearby. Resistance goes away. Not because life gets easier, but because alignment gets rid of friction that isn't needed in real life. This is how God's message works. There is no fantasy, no pedestal, and no false idea that everything is perfect here. Even though this person is human, grounded, and real, being around them makes you feel holy. Not worship and not activating dependencies. They don't save you. They just remind you. They don't make you whole. They just show who you are. They support God's voice, not take it away. Picked. The war you lived through made you smarter. So when this time comes, you won't mistake intensity for truth. You don't mix up wounds and ties. Chemistry is not the same as calling. You learned to recognize peace after your spiritual awakening. Even when excitement tries to take your attention away. Now that training is important. You'll know this connection is divine because it knows your limits and doesn't push them. It lets you go at your own pace instead of pushing you. It works with your calling instead of against it. In a world where you're used to chaos, it feels steady. This meeting won't happen to make you laugh. It will come to line you up. God is also careful about who can stand near your light because it is needed. Some people have trouble with light. Not everyone is happy about growth. The person who was sent to make a difference in your life will not fade away when you shine. They won't get smaller when you stand up. They won't be afraid of how clear you are. It will be clear to them. This is an honor for both of us. They feel strong and stable just like you do. They are awake at the same time that you are meeting in divine connection at the same time is like being aware of each other at the same time. That moment is not a mistake. Recognizing someone only happens when both of them are ready to hold it without any changes. That's why you don't need to look very hard. That's why you shouldn't try to force things to happen. This is why you have been asked to be patient. God always shows up for things. And when alignment is real, you don't have to look for it. The chosen ones keep coming back to the truth. Don't forget that this is God's message. People called you because your light has a task to do. It was a real war because what you carry is important. And glory will not come from drama but from peace. It will happen. And you won't question yourself. You won't need other people to give you signs. You will just know, not out loud or emotionally, but clearly, deeply, and calmly. Being awake gives you the reward of knowing that. And if this spoke to you, if something deep inside you said, I get it. Click here. You were called because you know it for sure and with strength. Chosen one, go back to the beginning because every revelation needs to be based on truth. This is God's message. You are not making up what is happening. You were asked to do something, so what you do next is important and has weight. You really lived through that war. The opposition was real and the light you carry is important. That's why God doesn't waste opportunities to meet you. When change comes, it does so for a reason. A meeting that changes your life is not a romantic fantasy or an emotional rescue. It's an activation on a spiritual level. This is when alignment meets readiness and the momentum starts to build. This person doesn't make you whole. They don't make things better. They don't turn into your source. They bring out what God put inside you and was just waiting for you to be strong enough to use. Before this meeting, you carried your calling in a quiet way. You could feel it, protected it, and sometimes had doubts about it. The calling starts to move after this meeting. You do it not because someone else pushes you, but because something inside you opens up. Courage that was dormant can now be used. Clarity that seemed far away becomes useful. A direction that seemed vague at first can now be followed. This changes. Stop asking the same questions over and over. You no longer hesitate at the edge of choices. You already know what to do. You need to stop negotiating out of fear. The experience doesn't make you brave, but it does make you honest. Being honest about what you need to do. Being honest about what doesn't fit anymore. Honest about what needs to be let go of. After that, things start to move faster. Not because time goes faster, but because the resistance goes away. You're no longer pulling against yourself. Alignment gets rid of friction. The energy that was wasted on confusion is now going toward getting things done. This is why chances seem to come up more often. That's why conversations become more important. This is why it's easier to open doors. Divine timing makes things move forward. This meeting is directly related to the mission and is not a distraction. Your purpose gets stronger, not weaker. Your confidence stays the same instead of rising. You feel strong without being cocky. You feel supported without becoming reliant on them. That balance was meant to be there. After a life-changing event, people feel more responsible. A lot of people don't expect this. You can no longer act like you don't know when God set something inside you off. There is no longer any room for you to return to comfort. The meeting holds you accountable, doesn't put pressure on you, and makes it clear what you need to do now. There is no need to lean on someone. This is about correct alignment, making you stand taller. The person who was sent to you to change your life doesn't move you forward. They walk next to you as you move forward. They don't decide what you should do. They show you how strong you really are. They don't take in what you're calling. They value it. That's how you know this meeting is divine. You feel more in control of your life. It gets easier to hear your voice. Your inner authority grows stronger. You don't get lost. You take back who you are. This moment was planned by God not to make life easier, but to make it more true. After this, you are less likely to put up with things that make you feel bad, less patient with misalignment, and less eager to put off doing what you know you need to. The reward is not comfort. It's called alignment and it needs action. Do. The war changes. It used to be about survival, but now it's about taking care of things. Now that you have clarity, you must honor it. Now that you can see better, you have to take care of what you see. Due to this, the meeting will only happen when you are ready to handle it. Your light is needed and it can now be seen. The divine timing is clear in the way things naturally go from there. There's no sense of force, there's no rush. Still everything seems planned. The right talks take place, the right ideas come to you. The doors on the right open not because you were lucky, but because you were in the right place. It's not up to chance. God doesn't waste time on randomness. This encounter does not get rid of problems, it changes the way they look. You don't see problems as signals to stop anymore. You see them as signs to get better. You no longer make resistance your own. You know that friction happens when things move. And now that you're moving, resistance doesn't scare you anymore. This is moving toward spiritual maturity. Chatty minds rise up, strong might. Keep going. You could say toward the future. You're going to walk into Tansy. Be my mom. Get ready. Let me tell you something unique about myself. My purpose used to seem like it would come to me like a lightning strike. Sudden, dramatic, and clear. I thought that God would show me by doing signs and wonders and that one day I would wake up knowing for sure and having no questions. That's not how it went for me though, and I don't think that's how it works for most chosen ones. Instead, purpose came to light quietly through small acts of obedience and choices. I made it when no one was looking during times of planning that felt like waiting. And the person who helped me find that purpose didn't show up with fireworks. When they got there, there was peace. They didn't make my world shake. They made it steady. That's what I want you to get. The meeting that will change your life might not feel the way you think it will. It might not be loud or exciting. It might feel more calm and easy than you thought. Just because something is simple doesn't mean it's not important. Most of the time, God's most powerful moves happen in everyday life. Go back to the truth that this whole message is based on. This is God's message. You were called because your life has more to it than just making things easier. The mission is real, so the war was real too. The light you carry is also not a sign. It does its job. You are ready for what this encounter opens up for you. So you didn't lose yourself. You were late so that you could get there on time. You were put through tests to see how strong you are. You are now in place. If this touched your heart, leave a comment. 111. You now know for sure that you were called, picked. What I'm about to say is very important. The new person in your life won't make a big deal out of it or do any spiritual tricks to get your attention. They won't have to show proof that God sent them. You will just know. And what they know will not come from feeling, but from peace. There will be an unfathomable resonance between you two. It won't be hard for conversations to flow. It won't feel weird or uncomfortable to be quiet. You won't feel like you have to perform or show off. It will be enough for you to just be yourself. This is what divine alignment looks like: ease without giving in, comfort without getting comfortable, but many people miss this. This meetup is not the end goal. It's what starts it. It's not the finish line. It's the gun that goes off. Snorts, this connection isn't meant to make you feel at ease. It's meant to push you to call. This person won't let you get away with it. They won't let things stay the same. They will push you to rise. Not by criticizing you, but by showing you how to walk with purpose. You will be braver because they are in your life. Not because they tell you what to do, but because they believe in the choices you make. Not so they can carry your weight, but so they can remind you of how strong you already are. Not because they make you whole, but because they see you as whole. This is the plan from God. People don't come from God to save you. He sends people to find you and say hello. And when you realize that something inside you wakes up, something that has been waiting patiently for the right time to come out. The time of this meeting is not a coincidence. It is exact. It's planned out. It's part of a bigger plan that's been going on since before you even knew what a calling was, as proof that the right time is almost here. The fact that you are hearing this message and understanding these words clearly shows that they are true. You're not just reading this by chance. You're not hearing this by accident. This is an appointment set by God that is now ready to happen. What comes next will confirm everything you've been feeling in your spirit, but haven't been able to put into words yet. Chosen one, I need you to understand something that a lot of people miss when they're trying to connect with God. The person sent to change your life isn't coming to fix what's wrong with you. They are coming to make something whole that is already whole. They are not the same, and that difference is very important. You will miss the whole point of the alignment if you go into it thinking that someone else will complete you. You will expect things from them that they were never meant to do. They will be in charge of your peace, your purpose, and your sense of self-worth. And that's not what God meant. It's true that you are already whole in Him. You are already complete in your calling. This person does not bring completion. Instead, they bring peace. They back up what God has already said about you, and they show you the light you've been carrying, even when you couldn't see it clearly. Too many times, I've seen chosen ones ruin divine encounters because they went into them from a place of lack instead of wholeness. So desperate were they for someone to accept them, save them, and explain their lives that they held on too tight and pushed away the alignment God was bringing. Don't go there. Do not go into this meeting feeling desperate. Take a sovereignty stance before they come. Know who you are. Know how much someone is worth before they say it. Know who's calling before they say yes. Because when you are that self-aware, you will attract someone who is also self-aware, not someone who takes advantage of your uncertainty. This is why getting ready was important. That's why the isolation had to happen. That's why God took His time making you better, before letting this connection into your life, that you were strong enough to take it without losing yourself in it. This is the last part of the meeting. I want you to feel the weight of what is about to change. It's not just to meet someone. It's time to move on to the next part of your calling. This is about how alignment speeds up purpose. This is about momentum that has been building in the background and is about to show itself to everyone. Things will feel different in the days to come. It will be impossible to ignore the synchronicities you will see. There will be conversations that seem to have been planned by God. There will be chances that you didn't go after, but found you in some way. It's going to open doors you didn't even know were there. It's not luck. This is moving alignment. And in the middle of it all will be someone who clears things up instead of making them more confusing, brings peace instead of chaos, and leaves doubts behind. When you meet them, your spirit will know who they are before your mind can explain why. That's what divine timing looks like, but please pay close attention to what I say. When this person shows up, don't look up to them. Do not put them in a position that only God should be in. They are people. They have flaws. They are on their own path to becoming better people. What makes this connection divine is not how perfect they are, but how well your goals match up. They're not going to save you. They are on the same mission as you. They're not your source. They show you what you look like. They don't carry your calling for you. They walk with you while you carry it. And the kind of momentum that changes atmospheres and opens up new worlds comes from partnerships based on mutual respect and a shared vision. This has happened to me before. Certain people have come into my life at just the right time. Not a day early or a day late, and having them there didn't make my life easier. It helped me see what my purpose was. They didn't take away my problems, but they helped me remember why those problems were important. They didn't carry my burdens for me, but they stood by me while I did. Something changed when they stood together. Years-old doors that had been locked opened. Where rejection had been common, favor showed up. There was no longer any confusion. Momentum took the place of stagnation, not because they did something magical, but because God always speeds up plans He already has in motion. This is what's going to happen to you, chosen one. Heaven is putting this together right now as you read these words. The person who was sent to you is already on their way. They are already getting ready. They are already being put in place. You will know for sure that this was written a long time before you met. When the time comes to recognize it, the task you have to do is simple until that time comes. Stay in line, don't move around, pay attention to what God has already told you. Do not run after them, do not push. You shouldn't change things to try to make this happen faster. Believe in the timing, believe in the process. Have faith that the one who started this work in you will see it through to the end. And don't think too much about the meeting when it finally happens. Do not think about it too much. Don't try to guess what your spirit already knows. Just accept it, honor it, and move forward with confidence and clarity. This is not the start of something uncertain. This is the next part of something that was always meant to happen. Chosen one. I need to talk about something right away because I know the questions are coming to your mind right now. You are not sure if you will recognize this person when they show up or if you will miss them because you weren't paying attention. You are not sure when or how they will show up. Let me calm you down. You won't forget this. Divine appointments do not depend on how well you know or understand things. They depend on God being in charge. And if He planned for this meeting to happen, He will make it happen. It's not your job to plan it. It's your job to stay open to it. But here's what you need to know about divine timing. It works on a different calendar than what people expect. It doesn't give in to your need for speed. You can't make it bend to your will. It happens based on readiness, not on desire. As for the time between wanting something and being ready for it, that's often when the biggest changes take place. It's not because you did something wrong that this meeting hasn't happened yet. It's not because you were getting in trouble. It's not that God forgot about you in this case. Neither you nor they have fully prepared nor have the conditions that will bring you together, and rushing through that process will make it take even longer. This is something I've learned the hard way. There were times when I wanted to connect with someone so badly and was sick of walking alone that I tried to make things happen that weren't meant to. I told myself that some people were sent by God just because I wanted them to be. I didn't pay attention to warning signs, because I didn't want to miss my chance. I settled for intensity, because I thought it was fate, every single time. Those forced connections fell apart, because they were made out of desperation, which is something that can't last. Things that are based on fear can't grow. Things that are pushed by impatience can't line up with God's timing. It was very hard for me to learn that it wasn't my job to make it happen. It was my job to be ready when it came, and that is your task right now. Pick one. Don't worry, try too hard or keep thinking about when, how, or who you need to be. Ready to go, founded in who you are, know what your calling is. Feel good about your worth in order to be ready for when the time comes and not hesitate or second guess yourself, because this is the truth. Meetings with God require both people to be ready. And God in His infinite wisdom is working on both of you at the same time, making you better on your own so that when your paths finally cross, they fit together. You need to do more than just be ready. The other person also needs to be ready. Perfectly. This is why it's so dangerous to compare things during times of preparation. You look at other people who seem to have found their partner and are walking with purpose and partner. And you wonder why that hasn't happened to you yet. You start to think you're behind schedule, that you miss something, or that no one is paying attention to you. You don't see their journey, though. You don't see the steps they took to get ready. You don't see the work they put in to get better. You don't see the delays they were worried about or the loneliness they had to deal with. You only see the result, so you think it was easy. It didn't. It doesn't ever. Don't compare your third chapter to someone else's 20th chapter anymore. Don't use someone else's timeline to judge how ready you are. Don't believe the lie that something will never happen if it hasn't already. That's not true. That's fear. And fear has no place in a life where God's timing is everything. Pay attention to what's in front of you now. Instead today, think about how God wants you to grow. Spend your time thinking about how He is still healing you, making you stronger, and giving you more clarity. Every day you spend getting ready is not a waste. You will work on the part of yourself that will be ready when the time comes. And when that time comes, you'll be thankful for every season of being alone that came before it. You'll know why some people had to leave. You'll realize that what seemed like a delay was actually divine protection, keeping you from making connections that would have slowed you down and setting you up for the alignment that will move you. You'll understand why some doors had to shut. Forward. This is the shift in point of view that makes everything different. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pin. Comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of. It is a sign from God, our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. Don't see getting ready as a punishment. Start to see it as an honor because not everyone is ready for a divine encounter. Some people aren't refined enough to know when alignment is happening. You are strong enough to handle a connection with kingdom purpose. But not everyone is. That's why you're still here. That's why you're still standing. That's how this message got to you. Your body is getting ready for something important and holy that will change the course of your life and open up parts of your calling you haven't explored yet. Just as much thought goes into getting ready for the person who is coming into your life, they are walking through the process of getting better. It's them getting rid of their own distractions. They are facing the things that scare them now that they are more clear. When you two finally meet, it won't be a collision of two broken people desperately trying to fix each other. It's two whole people who already know who they are and what they're here to do, coming together to make what God is doing in each of their lives even bigger. That is the power of being in line with God. God's timing paid off in that way. That's what you are getting ready for right now, so don't hate having to wait. Do not dislike the planning. Don't be mad about the wait. Value it and use it to become the best version of yourself that is ready to receive what God is about to give you. Because that moment will come and you will need all the strength, wisdom, and clarity you have gained in the silence. This message is almost over, chosen one. But before it is, I need to bring you back one last time to the truth that holds everything together. This is a message from God, and it is meant to be taken literally, spiritually, and on purpose. You are not making up what you have felt, what you have been through, or what you can feel coming up. You were called, and your life has gone exactly as planned because of that. No matter how uncertain or random something seemed, there was a hand from God leading every step. Right now, nothing needs to be forced. There you have it, confirmation. What is meant to happen to you has already begun. You don't have to worry about or put pressure on divine timing. You have to trust it, the meeting and the change. You don't have to work harder to get to the next chapter you feel is coming. That's what it wants from you, to stay aligned, which you already are. This message would not have reached you the way it has if you weren't. It would seem far away, exaggerated, or unimportant. In its place, it feels steady, familiar, and grounded. Truth comes to the soul in this way when it is ready to receive it. You were brought here on purpose, not because you needed to be convinced, but because you needed to be sure. God often sends quiet confirmation, not to boost the ego, but to make the spirit stronger. You were able to receive this message because your awareness has grown enough to hold it without being changed. Keep in mind that being patient doesn't mean doing nothing. It means being ready on the inside without grasping. It means staying true to what you already know and living a good life. That you should value your growth and not question how fast it's happening. Being ready inside is not passive, it is a dynamic alignment. There was a reason for the war you fought. It made you smarter. It taught you how to be smart. It made people stronger where they were weak before. There is a war going on, but it's not meant to destroy you. It came to get you ready. Light with a purpose always faces opposition. That resistance couldn't beat you, so it didn't. Your light is important. You are no longer being asked to fight to stay alive. Instead, you are being asked to trust enough to receive. The time will come on its own. There won't be chaos when it comes out. It won't demand action right away. That thing will just show up and you'll know it because you won't be searching in a vacuum. You are standing on solid ground. This is the quiet authority of God's timing. There's nothing you need to prove. You don't need to hurry everything to happen. You don't have to wonder if you're good enough. You're already there. If you agree with this message and if it makes you feel calm and sure, spend some quiet time with God to let Him know that you know where you are and trust where you. The alignment you feel won't go away soon. It's earned. Leave a comment. 777 are going. Chosen one, take this truth with you. You were never forgotten, late or missed. You were put in place. There was a reason for every season. Every ending made room. Every moment of peace made your inner voice stronger. You're not walking forward by yourself. Now, alignment walks with even when you're by yourself. Being aware goes with you. Things that are meant to happen will, and they will because you are ready. Please think about that for a moment. You're all set. Not because you've reached some place that is perfect in every way. Not because you know all the lessons or have fixed all the wounds. But since you did the work, you've been through the fire. You put up with the silence. Growth over comfort, truth over illusion, and purpose over fun are the things you've chosen. And heaven can tell when you are ready. Being ready is what makes divine appointments happen. When you are ready, you can receive what has been planned for you since before you knew you wanted it. I have one last thought to share with you before I end this message. The meeting that will change your life is not just about meeting someone. It's about becoming the whole person God made you to be. It's about taking pride in your light without saying sorry. It's about following your calling without any doubt. It's about realizing that you were never normal, never an accident, and never unimportant. You are a chosen one, which means that everything in your life is different. It means that your path won't be the same as everyone else's. It means that you will have to have more faith, patience, and trust along the way. But it also means that your legacy will last forever, and your impact will be bigger. The person who is coming into your life knows this. They can see it. They take it seriously. They walk in their own version of it. And the two of you will create momentum that changes the mood, opens doors, and moves the kingdom forward in ways you can't even imagine yet. And it all starts with this moment, realizing, giving up, and being willing to trust that what God spoke over you will come true. Not because you changed things or forced results, but because you stuck with the process even when it hurt. Not quickly, but with peace. This message ends. That is not with noise, but with certainty, not under stress, but with blessing. Don't move. Keep your door open. Believe in the timing. If this spoke to you, please leave a comment. 111. You now know without a doubt that you were called. Now is the time that was set. The meeting with God is getting close. All the things you've been through have led you to this point. Feel free to accept it. Be clear as you walk into it and know for sure that everything is being planned in heaven for your good and His glory. You are called chosen one, and what's about to happen will show it. This message is over, but God is still working in your life. This is the start of your manifestation. Let's go back to the foundation one last time because this is where everything stands. This is God's message, not in a spiritual, symbolic, or metaphorical way and not on purpose. You are not making up what you have felt, what you have been through, or what you can feel coming up. You were called and your life has gone exactly as planned because of that. That was true. Even when things seemed uncertain, now nothing needs to be forced. There you have it, confirmation. What is meant to happen to you has already begun. You don't have to worry, chase, or put pressure on divine timing. You have to trust it, the meeting and the change. You don't have to work harder to get to the next chapter you feel is coming. It is ready for you to stay in line. You are already in line. This message would not have reached you the way it has if you weren't. It would seem far away, exaggerated, or unimportant. In its place, it feels steady, familiar, and grounded. Truth comes to the soul in this way when it is ready to receive it. Chosen one, take this truth with you. You were never forgotten, late, or missed. You were put in place. There was a reason for every season. Every ending made room. Every moment of peace made your inner voice stronger. You're not walking forward by yourself. Now, alignment walks with you. Even when you're by yourself, being aware goes with you. You can take purpose with you. And no matter what comes your way, you'll be ready for it. Not quickly, but with peace. This message ends. That is not with noise, but with certainty, not under stress, but with blessing. Don't move, keep your door open, believe in the timing, say something. 111. If this touched your heart, you were called and you know it now without any fear or clears throat doubt. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry. When Jesus says give and heaven will open over you on this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens open. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected, faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment. At a place where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer war, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called, deepen your connection. The link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the ladom, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.